Okay, in this video we're going to be testing and reviewing the SummerCart64. Now if you have an N64 console, original hardware, you're just going to pop this in and yeah, you're going to be accessing around 5,000 games. I say 5,000 because there's a micro SD card in the side, there's a USB-C port in the other side, more on that later, but it also supports Game Boy ROMs, Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo and everything else. There's emulators on here, and the beautiful thing about this is it's an open source project by a Polish guy, and you can actually update the firmware using the USB-C port on the side, so it's very interesting development. I bought this from AliExpress for around $50, give or take, something like that, and it comes with different stickers so you can stick whichever one you want. I went with that one, and there's an instruction manual as well. But what sets this apart from pretty much everything else so far is the price point, $50, a lot cheaper than an Everdrive, but also the speed and rapidness of transferring things over for deployment. Say if you're testing games, you're making games, you can easily put the game on there, shove it into your console and get away with it. And it also supports disk drive images as well, more on that later. Okay, let's plug this in and have a little look at what's going on. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Okay, I have everything plugged in and hooked up to the original console now. So because this is open source, it's probably going to get updated quite a lot, so it might look differently to the one you have. It might have more menu options, different graphics, but the core principle is the same, right? So I'm running on a PAL console, which is an EU console, and due to the refresh rate, the games are going to work best in the EU folder on this console. So if we go in here, these are all the games currently loaded onto the SD card. Now these came with the cartridge from AliExpress, like I say, around $50, $60, give or take. I don't remember the value, but yeah, these are all the games already loaded on in the EU region. So why don't we play, I don't know, maybe Pokemon Stadium or something like that. So we can select the ROM, it tells you all about the game on a technical level even as well, and now it's loading it onto the memory so we can actually play the game. And this will happen every time you choose a game, and if you've had cartridges like this before, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Now this cartridge has a real-time clock in there, little battery, it's maintainable, it's held in by 4 Phillips screws, so you can get in there and change that out. So look at that, look, Pokemon Stadium. It's cool, isn't it? So it has save files on here. You can create your own save files. You don't need a memory card in your controller. Even though it's using like official hardware, you don't need the memory card hardware. It's quite bright, isn't it? But that's an example of running an EU game. Other things it has are NES games, like I think I mentioned at the start of the video. So we have some NES ROMs on here. You can add your own NES ROMs from whatever region you are. Mega Man 2, amazing game. Legend of Zelda, oh, hard to pick, isn't it? So I think the way the NES ROMs work, same with the Game Boy ROMs, is it has like an emulator on board. So you can see my capture card's freaking out a bit. But we can modify this. This isn't what it's going to look like with you. It's something we need to configure and set up, which I don't really want to do in this video, but you can see it does work. So like I say, if you have a PAL console, get PAL games, so EU games. If you have NTSC, get NTSC games. The other thing I want to talk about is the DD folder. Now this is like disk drive games. I believe it was only released in Japan, and it kind of looked like a big thick floppy disk or something like that. And there were a few titles released. I don't think Europe or America ever got this, but this actually does support those. So if we go back, so you have a look at the disc games in here. You can see there's F-Zero, Mario Artist, SimCity 64. So what you have to do, because they're Japanese only disc games, you go to the Japan folder. What was one of those? F-Zero, right? So you choose the game F-Zero. Now it's opened, it's apparently selected. You go back, and then you can go to the disk images and load the F-Zero X disk image. And when we click that, you'll actually see we've already selected the F-Zero ROM, and together they get loaded in and it supports that. But because this is Japanese, the refresh rate's different, so you can see it's jumping around. But again, you can, if you have the TV, which I think everyone does these days, it's going to work just fine. It's just because I'm using a capture card, I'm capturing PAL refresh rate, so I don't really want to change that. It's just too annoying to do. But if you have a TV from anywhere in the modern era, it's gonna work fine. We have Super Nintendo games, so mine came with the entire SNES USA library on here, so you can see all the SNES stuff here. Again, you can add your own SNES games. That's the refresh rate going crazy again. But you can see it works. And you can drop your region on the card as well and delete the other ones off. So Sodium 64 looks like the emulator settings here, so you can adjust various graphical things if you want to. When you can skip through that, the game loads and you can play wrestling, right? Yeah, so pretty cool. Then if you live in Japan, you have all the Japanese region games here. If you live in America, you have all the US region games as well. And you can play these, no problem. I believe the US ones will run slower on a PAL region due to the refresh rate. I think that's the right way around. We have Game Boy and Game Boy Color, so we have all the Game Boy games. So these are the EU region ones, asterisks and obliques in Europe. So yeah, it's really cool, right? So the thing is, there's the Everdrive X7. I believe that's like the equivalent cartridge, and that's pushing on $200, right? Very expensive. But the thing about the Everdrive, even though it's like the most prestigious one, it's quite expensive, and there's no USB-C connection, and micro SD transfers are actually quite slow. So if you're into developing games or you just want fast file transfer, this actually works really well. And it's actually a Polish guy that put this together with a lot of help from various communities, bringing you open source affordable cartridges that you can buy and play. It's amazing, right? And like I sort of mentioned, you can flash the firmware yourself, upgrade it in the future. You're not sort of left behind, and I think you can actually build one yourself as well. So I think we're in Game Boy Color now, so you can play, you know, like Pokemon. It was yellow color, right? Or I don't know. Pokemon Blue was Game Boy Color. Okay, yeah, and yellow. Yeah, blue and red came out, and yellow a little bit later. That's right. So long ago, it's hard to remember. Yeah, how cool is that? So the saves will go inside the directory for the console. So you'll have your Game Boy saves, Game Boy Color saves, N64 saves, and they'll all get grouped together. And you can, I believe you can take those save files out and put them into emulators and things like that. There's actually a save folder here. So NES, Japanese, Game Boy, Europe. I'm not really sure what that is. When I got this, there was a few save files in here. I'm not sure where they came from, how they got here, whether they're included. I'm not really sure, but this is pretty much it, actually. And for $50–60, yeah, very impressed. And there's a lot of options you can do as well, which I haven't really dug into personally. I used to play console games a lot. I don't really have time to play them anymore, but if you're into game development, it's so much easier using a cartridge like this, especially over the Everdrive. And like I say, I got this from AliExpress. I'll put all the links in the description below so you can check it out. But if you know someone that loves N64 gaming consoles, maybe they can't afford all the official original games because the prices are crazy right now, then it's like a perfect Christmas birthday gift. You know, it's absolutely amazing, and it seems quite stable as well. But like I said, because I'm using a cheap capture card, it's going to look a little darker, a little glitchy, like I mentioned, but with any modern TV it's gonna look fine. So I hope you enjoyed the video, quite brief, and yeah, that is SummerCart64, something we may be seeing more of in the future, who knows. Okay, take care guys, see you later.